It always is. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Len Mooney here, and this is the Law of Attraction and Vision Workshop webinar. It's Saturday, and I'm so pleased that you came out to see us on a Saturday. I know it's a pain in the rear. There's so many different webinars going on, and Saturday morning is generally a free time, and I like to keep it free sometimes too, but there are things we got to do, and this is one of them. This is a really important webinar. There's a lot of good information here, and everyone who's gone through this in the past has gotten a lot of value out of it. So welcome, Marta, welcome, Sandy, welcome, Jana, and welcome, Laurie, and thank you for coming in. There's probably a few other people, stragglers, coming in. We got a lot of people signed up, registered, but maybe they're just a little slow getting out of bed today. But let's go ahead and get started. And today we're going to talk about the law of attraction and how to make it work for us. So I'm going to go start a screen share. And here we go. And oh, by the way, I've got Laura over here too. And Laura's she's going to do two things. One, she's going to make sure that you can see and hear me. So if there's any issues with the broadcast, she'll let me know what's going on. As most of you know, when we're doing a full screen share here with the PowerPoint presentation, I cannot see the chat, so it's possible that I'm talking to thin air and a brick wall and there's nobody there. The other thing is if you have any questions, put them up in the chat. Laura can see the chat and she'll transmit questions to me, or comments or concerns or whatever. So here we go, full screen share coming up, present to everybody. So I'm going to assume you can see my screen.
We can see it.
And I'm going to assume you can see PowerPoint.
Yes.
And I have my title for this webinar is how to get what you really want with ease. And the universe will let you do that. The universe will let you tap into the power of the law of attraction and to get what you really want. And you know, the real fundamental core question here is, if that's really true, if the universe will let me tap into the law of attraction and get what I want, how's come I'm not getting it? What's wrong? And that's a problem, an issue for a lot of people. People struggle with the law of attraction, and we understand why. But it is non-trivially difficult to turn our thinking around so that we're attracting what we want, and instead of attracting what we don't want. And the problem, of course, is that frequently we're focused on lack. We're thinking about what we don't have. We're worried about the fear that something is going to go wrong. And as long as we're worried about fear, as long as we're thinking about lack, as long as we're concerned that something might go wrong, that's what we're attracting. That's what we're going to get. So we got to learn how to clear the decks, clear our mind, clear our brain, get our brain thinking focused and just thinking and focused on what we want. So let's get going. Let me ask you a quick question. How would it feel if you knew you could attract anything you want in your life or business? You could attract that special relationship, more customers, more sales, more freedom, and you knew this. And this is a knowing. This isn't a hope or a wish or a prayer. It's a knowing that you can attract what you want. It's a confidence. It's a belief. And that's what we have to build. We have to build that confidence. We have to build that belief. What if you knew the law of attraction was working for you to attract the people and things to you that you want to do life with? Knew that it was working for you. Not hoped, not prayed, not think, but know. Again, a very confident knowing and belief. That's what we got to build. How would you like it if you had a clear vision of your future life and you knew how to move forward toward it every day? And finally, what if you knew you couldn't fail? You absolutely couldn't fail in life or in business. You can do that. We can get you there. Now, before I go on any further, I'm going to talk a little bit about who this is for and who it's not for. But before I go on any further, I am also going to tell you that at the end of this webinar, I have an offer for you to go deeper, further, and longer with me. And so what does that mean for those of you who don't know how to interpret that sentence? That means it's a selling webinar. That means there is a product for sale at the end. So we're going to do about 45 minutes or so of background free material and looking at how this all structures together, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to go deeper. Who's it for? It's for you if you've struggled with making the law of attraction work for you and attracting the success that you deserve in your life. It's for you if you feel like you don't have a clear vision of where you want to go in your business or in your life. And for many people, having a clear vision of where you want to go is one of the most significant problems that holds you back from getting where you want to go, because you haven't clearly defined where it is. You're sending mixed messages to the universe. You're confused. And if you're confused, so's the universe. And if you are sending confusing mixed messages, you're going to get confusing mixed results back. That's the way it works. And this is one of the most difficult points for many people, is getting a clear vision of where you want to go. It's for you if you feel like you don't understand your life's major purpose. If somebody says to you, why are you here? What's your major purpose in life? And you go, I don't know. I think it must be to sit on the couch, drink beer, and watch, I don't know, what's the current, I don't know what's on TV these days. I don't have a TV, never watch it. But, you know, defining your life's major purpose and getting in sync with it is a very difficult thing for many people. And finally, it's for you if you struggle to understand your core values. What's the most important thing that you want to get out of your life? And what do you want to contribute? And that word contribute is going to come up more and more, because the reality is you get what you give. You don't get what you want. You don't get what you ask for. You don't get what you get down on your knees and beg God for, because he doesn't bring that to you. You get what you give. You know, Zig Ziglar said it. If you want to get the things in life you want, help enough other people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. Now, that seems to be paradoxical. That's a strange concept, that you get what you give. And we're going to come back to it. We're going to look at it in a little bit more depth. But continuing on, it's most definitely for you if you're ready and willing to take 100% responsibility for your life, your dreams, your success, and your failures. Now, look, the reality is there is nobody else responsible for you but you. And if you don't accept that, if you don't believe that, if you don't live your life that way, then you're not going to get where you want to go. You have to be 100% responsible for everything that happens. Not 99%, not 99.9%. There can't be any excuses. Oh, look at what he did to me. This is bad. This isn't my fault. I couldn't help it. Doesn't work that way. Sometimes life throws you a curveball. Question is, what are you going to do with it? The question is, how are you going to respond to the curveballs that come at you? Are you going to make lemonade out of lemons, or are you going to complain that you got lemons? You have a choice, and it's that choice, it's sitting in that choice that makes the incredible difference between what you get and whether what you get is what you want or what you don't want. 100% responsibility. You've got to be willing to treat all failures as a learning experience. There are no failures, and continue to grow and prosper beyond your wildest dreams. Now look, when you learn to walk, think about this for just a moment. When you were an infant, you decided to walk. You didn't sit there on the floor and say, I don't know if I should try this. This looks pretty difficult. Where's the manual? Can somebody tell me how to do this? I want the instruction manual. Well, wait a minute. What if I stand up and fall down? Oh my God, I might get hurt. I better not try this. This looks really, all right, well, maybe I'll try it once. I did, I'm up, oh my, I fell, oh my God. I'm going to quit. I'm not going to learn to walk. This is too dangerous. But unfortunately, many of us go through the rest of our life with that attitude. We forgot that we actually know how to do the things we want to do. We forgot how to treat failures like successes. We forgot how to treat falling down like a learning experience and get back up, dust ourselves off, and go on again. And we have to get that back into the equation, because that's how we succeed. That's how we move forward. That's how we grow. So who's this not for? It's not for you if you want to live in fear, poverty, scarcity, lack, anger, and resentment. If you want to live in those things, go away. Go do something else, because it's not going to work for you. It's not for you. You've got to be willing to just stand up and say, look, I'm responsible for everything that happens to me. I'm not going to hold grudges. I'm not going to blame others. I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to make a course correction. I'm going to learn from my experiences and I'm going to move on. And then finally, it's not for you if you think your mind is just fine and you don't need to improve on your thought processes. So people say things like, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with my mind. It's my checking account that's got a problem. Well, the sad reality is the reason your checking account has a problem is because your mind has a problem. Your mindset isn't in the right place. That's what we have to work on. That's what we have to improve. We have to move you toward being totally 100% responsibility and believing that you can achieve anything you want to achieve. And now, the first step in getting what you want is to decide what it is. For many, that's a huge problem. You know, in Jack Canfield's incredibly good book, which I highly recommend if you haven't read it, and I highly recommend it even if you have read it, because it's not a light read. It's a huge book, and it's sort of the Bible of success. You don't read it, you study it, you savor it, you pick it up frequently and go through it. But in chapter 3, he opens chapter 3, and I don't have the book in front of me, so this is not an exact quote. He opens chapter 3 with the statement that the thing that keeps most people from experiencing success in their life and getting what they want is this: they don't know what they want. He attributes that to Ben Stein, actor and author. Defining what you want is a huge first step toward getting what you want. And so for many, it's a huge problem. Now, you know, in a short sort of 45-minute-ish to an hour webinar, we're not going to be able to really go through a complete, total exercise on defining what you want and establishing a vision for yourself. We're going to come back and touch on this in a little while. But here's the reality. Many people find this step to be very difficult, sitting down and just deciding what you want to get out of life. But you really have to do it. And I can't do it for you. I can guide you through an exercise and help you, but you have to do it. You need to know what it is you want to get out of life and get focused on what you want to achieve. And I'm going to digress for a minute. Have any of you seen the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know Anyhow? Now, for those of you who have seen it, you can reflect back to the scene where the woman is standing at the basketball court, and when she turns her back, the basketball is all over the place. And when she snaps, and when she turns around and looks at it, it snaps into a position. When she turns her back, it's all over the place again. When she turns her back, there's a field of probability that she can't see, but it's behind her. There's a field of probability. The basketball could probably be any place. When she turns and looks, it snaps into a position. Now we know, believe it or not, that's the way the universe works. We know this from quantum physics. We absolutely know this. This isn't open for debate or discussion. This is the way the universe works. When we observe something, it sits still for us. And when we turn our back away from it, it does not. And where am I going with this? For you to get what you want, you have to see what you want. What's sitting in front of you is a field of probability. You can have, do, or be anything you want, but you have to decide what it is. You have to see the basketball in a spot. You have to see the end result of what you want. And if you can't do that, you won't get it. So again, we know this from quantum physics. There's no question. This is the way the universe works. Now, you may not believe it, but it's there. There's a huge field of probability you can have do and be anything you want, but you have to focus on it. You have to see it. You have to believe it. You have to have a picture of it, and you have to take steps toward it every day of your life, or you won't get it. You know, we've often talked about sailing across the ocean. How would it be if we set off from the shore of San Diego with a sailboat and started sailing west across the Pacific with no idea where we wanted to go? We just, oh, we'll go sailing. Let's just go sailing. Let's just go see what happens today. Well, what's our chances of getting there? Where's there? What's our chances of getting to someplace nice as opposed to running onto a reef somewhere? We're just sailing around the ocean for the rest of our life because we have no destination in mind. Same thing is true of your life every day. So building a vision is a critical step in this whole process. And if you don't do that, you won't get there. So we're going to talk more about creating a vision for your life and how to harness the power within you to move consistently toward that vision. And we're going to talk about defining your core values, because the reality is the vision, the core values, and your major life purpose all have to come together in a singularity for you to get where you want to go to. They have to be consistent. You got to wake up in the morning knowing what's important to you, your core values, knowing where you want to go, your vision, and knowing your life's purpose, how you're going to get there. And without those things coming together, you're not going to get there. And we have to learn how to overcome fear, how to beat procrastination, how to have overwhelm for breakfast. Because the consistency of all these things is necessary in order to really move forward and get where we want to go. Now, before I go on to the next slide, I'm going to stop and say this to you. I didn't invent any of this stuff. I didn't make it up. This isn't my imagination. These are the results of all of the major thought leaders of our time. And for many hundreds of years, thousands of years, really. Some of the concepts that we're talking about today go back thousands of years. And in the Vision Workshop, we talk more about the origin of some of these ideas. But do you remember the movie The Secret? Rhonda Byrne opened that movie with the idea that the secret had been a secret for thousands of years. And in fact, there is a basis in reality for that. There's a thing called the Emerald Tablet that's thought to be thousands of years old and maybe even 25,000 years old, where many of these concepts are outlined. They come from deep in our history, but they were for many years, for thousands of years, for centuries. Some of the concepts were suppressed. Pharaohs didn't want the people knowing that they could have, do, and be anything they wanted. Many leaders don't want people to know that you can have, do, and be anything you want. That puts too much power in the people. That takes the power away from the leaders. The leaders want to suppress you. And I'm not being political here. I'm not talking about any political candidate today. Please don't misinterpret me. But over the many, many centuries, there has been a tendency to not teach these concepts. Who teaches this in school? Where did you learn it? Where did somebody tell you that you can have, do, and be anything you want? What teacher in grade school, high school, or college gave you that information? Think about it. But the fact is, that's the way the universe works. Let's move on. Thanks to the awesome power of your mind, you can discover your major life purpose, and you can attract the things you want, including the right customers, the right relationships. Hey, you're not happy with your relationships. You want a better one, a good one. You can attract it into your life. We'll look at how. You can achieve an understanding of the universe and how the law of attraction works for you. And you can learn to harness the incredible power within you to direct your future and achieve your goals. You have the power within you. You haven't learned how to use it. You haven't learned how to harness it. And in fact, it's been suppressed over the years, but you can become unstoppable. Here's how. Before I go there, let me tell you just a teeny little bit of my story. Why am I here today, and why am I telling you all this? First off, personally, in 2011, I thought, rock bottom, absolutely devastated. I woke up every night full of fear. I was afraid of getting old, afraid of being broke, afraid of running out of money. I didn't have any money to run out of. I had income from the sale of a business at that point, which I'll touch on in a minute. But I was really personally focused on fear of loss. So I've been through this whole thing. I know what it feels like to just wake up in a cold sweat every night at 2 o'clock in the morning, just scared about what was going on and what was going to happen to me. The next slide has a picture of me laying in the water with a water ski attached, and I'll explain that in a minute. But look, I was focused on loss. I was focused on fear, and I got it. I got exactly what I was focused on. I was afraid that I was going to lose everything, the little bit I had left, and that's exactly what happened. I got a lawsuit that took everything and left me in complete ruins. So back around June of 2011, I was virtually penniless. And that's when I really began to study the law of attraction and how to turn myself around. And I began to practice regularly and implementing the principles in my own life that I'm talking to you about today. And why am I showing you a picture of me hanging out in the water with a water ski? There's two reasons. One is because I want to show you the next picture, which is me up on the water ski. But the other thing is, to me, the law of attraction is much like being in the water with a water ski attached. When you're laying like that in the water, you're extremely awkward. You're sort of flopping around like a fish out of water. You just feel very, very awkward. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it. And the pull-up is a very violent event. You don't really know exactly what's going to happen when you yell, hit it, and the boat takes off, part of the firewall, yanking on you. But here's the thing you do know. If you do it long enough, there's two things. One is occasionally you're going to fall down. And if you just don't get back up again, well, then you're never going to get up. And second is, if you suspend disbelief for just a few moments, a few seconds, suspend disbelief, hold your position, and yell, hit it, you will come up, because it will happen. And that's what you have to do with the law of attraction. You have to suspend your disbelief that it will not work for you. You have to believe, know. You have to develop that knowing. And so, today I'm back on top of the world, getting leads, making sales, feeling confident, not afraid of anything. I know what the future will bring. I have a strong vision, and I have a total lack of fear, absolutely total lack. I'm not afraid of anything. I know where I'm going. I know I'm going to get there. I've developed an absolutely 100% rock solid, ironclad knowing what the universe is bringing to me. The rest of the story, the backstory, is that I owned a flight school in El Cajon, and we'll get through this slide real quick here. But in 2008, I had 120 students, 28 airplanes, 30 instructors. By 2010, I had less than 20 students, 5 airplanes, and 2 instructors. I laid off 45 employees in 2009, including my now ex-girlfriend. It's funny how that works. You lay off your girlfriend, she doesn't actually usually stay around being your girlfriend much longer. It's like, it didn't work out real well. But it was what it is. I was caught in the economic collapse of 2008, and we didn't do anything wrong. It took us down. Flight training worldwide absolutely shut down in the end of 2008. Around the world, the airlines lost $11 billion that year. And I sold the remnants of the school in 2011, moved to the mountains, got sued, lost the remaining income. And that's where I went from a $5 million a year business to a $0 million a year business. And here I am today. So let's talk about some big misconceptions about the law of attraction. First one is wishing upon a star. Some people will tell you that if you get vibrationally aligned with what you want, the universe will just deliver it to you. Now, I got to tell you, I have a lot of trouble with that concept. And the reason I do is I want a new RV. Now, those of you who know me know that I have a house sitting on the Pacific Ocean. I have a back deck looking at the ocean. And I have trouble believing that if I sit on my deck with a cold beer in my hand, wishing for a new RV, that sooner or later someone's going to drive a new RV up onto my deck and I'll be able to get in it and drive away. I have trouble with that concept. So I believe that I have to get off my deck and go find my new RV. I believe it is out there. I don't know where it is, but it exists in the universe. The pure fact that I can envision it means that it exists. Now, it may be in the factory, it may be on an RV lot in Oregon. I don't know where it's at. It's there. I got to go find it for myself. And I got to find it when I'm ready for it. It's not that I want to find it next week, this month, because this week, this month, I have other things to do. It's not my top priority right now. I know that it's there, and I know I'll find it. Our daily affirmations are enough. Can I sit there on my deck and say, I have a new RV, I have a new RV, I have a new RV? It doesn't work that way. And we can talk a lot more about affirmations. Affirmations have a place, but they're not the end all, the be all, and you need more than that. In fact, we have talked in the past about things like empowering questions and things that will help your mind get focused on what you want. The idea of affirmations, the reason they're there at all is to try to get your mind focused on the end result, get your mind thinking about the end result. And that's what we have to do. And the law of attraction means you can think of something and it will materialize. And it's just not that way. What happens is the universe will pave the path for you. If you think about something, the law of attraction will help you pave the path to get it. But it's not going to materialize. It's not going to come to you without you doing some work. Okay, so many people in the network marketing business tell you, well, you need your why. Your why isn't sufficient either. It's just not enough. Well, you need the why that makes you cry. No, you need a vision. It's not the why that makes you cry. It's not your why. It's your vision and your belief in that vision. And the emotion that comes with the belief. The universe doesn't operate on words. Sitting staring in the mirror saying, I have it, I have it, I have it, doesn't get you there. You have to feel it, feel it, feel it. You have to develop the emotional belief that really is there. You have to feel it. You got to close your eyes and see it. You got to believe. And that's why all these sayings are around. You got to be, do, have. You got to act as if. Because acting as if puts you in the position of your mind believing that it's already there. And once you can get there, you're getting very close to manifesting it into your life. So the law of attraction will work for you, but focusing on what you want gives you the guidance from the universe to go get what you want. It doesn't bring it to you. You have to go get it. You got to meet the universe halfway. You got to do the work. And the universe will test you. It will play with you, but it will yield to persistence, determination, and plain vanilla hard work. It will yield to persistence. It always does. But you got to go do the work. And that's why I say to you sometimes on my Coffee with Lens on Sunday mornings, I tell you, when you go to church today, when you drop down on your knees, thank God for what you have. Don't ask him for things you can do for yourself. God doesn't come down and deliver RVs. I can't pray to God for a new RV. I can pray for the guidance. I can pray for the path. I can pray for the direction. I can pray for the help to implement. But I can't pray for the RV. He's not going to bring it to me. But he will show me the way if I ask him to. He will show me the path. But I got to walk it. The biggest challenge we have is we're born to win. Look, let me go back to learning to walk. When you were born, you did not have the fear that you might fail. It simply wasn't there. It was programmed into you. If you were born with fear of failure, you would still be sitting on the floor in diapers. It was programmed into you from the very beginning. We're surrounded by fear of loss, fear of old age, fear of poverty, fear of ill health, fear of death. Your mom told you money doesn't grow on trees. Your father said, what do you think I'm made out of? Whatever happened to you, you were told no. So we got to learn to harness the awesome power within us to change our lives, manifest the desired outcome. We can do that. But as long as we live in fear and negativity, we will manifest more fear and negativity. That's the bottom line. And you can sit back there and you can say, well, that's easy for you to say, Len, you're not looking at my checking account. My checking account's really bad. I know that. I know that. But let me ask you a question. When you walk over to the kitchen water faucet and turn it on, does water come out? Are there bombs falling on your head at night? Do you have food in your refrigerator? If you have water in your kitchen, a roof over your head, and food in your refrigerator, you're ahead of most of the people on the planet. You have a lot to be thankful for. And you have to have the faith that the rest will come. Hey, my good friend Bob might not be here, but I'm going to rely on Bob anyhow. Len Mooney hit a home run with his first live workshop, mentioning several of his mentors. And attending Len Mooney's online workshop was very insightful. Thank you, Len. Thank you, Bob. I just wish you'd show up on time for some of these things. And Shirley. She received a lot of training and a lot of ahas. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shirley. Let's go back. Let's talk about where we came from. When I was growing up, I was told my body had a soul. I don't believe that. Our soul has a body. We are infinite beings. We are spiritual beings who have chosen, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason. Wayne Dyer didn't know the reason. None of the spiritual leaders know the reason we have chosen to manifest into the physical universe, but we have. But your soul is uniquely you, and you have the ability to tap into infinite intelligence. You have the ability to connect with God. Now, if some of you don't believe in God, call it source energy, call it the universe, call it whatever you prefer, but it exists and it is powerful beyond your comprehension. But here's the deal. You are a spark of it. You are a part of it. In fact, Wayne Dyer went so far as to say you are it. You are God. He went that far. I'll let Wayne Dyer go that far. I'm not 100% sure I am God, but I do believe I have a piece of God in me. I believe that we are spun off from infinite intelligence. We have the ability to connect the infinite intelligence. We've lost the ability. We put it on the shelf. We call it ego. We say, I got this, God. I can handle it. It's okay. Check with you next week. I'll be back on Sunday. It doesn't work that way. If you listen to the people that are immensely successful in life, the vast majority of them will tell you that when they got out of their own way and they let God take the reins, they became enormously successful. That's when they learned to connect back to their higher self. We knew how to do that. When we popped out of the womb, we knew how to do it. But then it got beaten out of us by the society that we were raised in. And it's been beaten out of us over the millennial, over the hundreds and thousands of years. But you are powerful beyond your comprehension. Thoughts are things. They vibrate. They have energy. It's the nature of thoughts to try and materialize into the physical equivalent. It comes from John Kehoe's book, Mind Power into the 21st Century. So from the same book, there is sufficient evidence to indicate unequivocally that the mind can and does directly affect physical reality. Now, for those of you who attended some of my series on, I forget what we even called it. We did a whole series of workshops on Saturday morning a few months ago. And for those of you who attended that series, we talked about these concepts. We took a look one day at where did you come from? You, as a specific individual, where did your physical body come from? And I'll just fast forward to the conclusion. And if you want to, that webinar still exists and it's out there in replay if you want it. But here's the conclusion. You came from nothing. nothing. You are pure energy. When we put you, your physical body, under a microscope and start going down in, there's nothing there. Now, you've heard it said we're mostly water, but as we go down into the molecular structure of everything, when we go into the atoms, we see that the atom is mostly empty space. Well, we go to the molecules first. They're mostly empty space. Then we go to the atoms. They're mostly empty space. But the atoms sort of look like little universes with a nucleus and some electrons running around. You've heard of protons and neutrons and electrons, and these things are all running around. But it's really mostly empty space. The nucleus, the protons, the neutrons are teeny tiny. The electron cloud is out there somewhere. It's a cloud of probability. It snaps into position when we look at it, once again back to our quantum mechanical view of the world. But then when we go deeper and deeper and deeper, we say, well, surely in the nucleus we'll find something. We don't find anything. There is nothing there. It's energy. It's nothing but pure energy. Wayne Dyer called it pure intent. If you go back to Wayne Dyer's work on intention, you will find that that's what he called it, pure intent. So we think there's a physical universe out there, but there's an excellent chance there isn't one at all. You may not believe this. Now, this is getting pretty far afield, but the reality is there ain't much out there. It's pure energy. And if you can connect to the source of energy, you can have, do, and be anything you want, and you can connect to it. But you got to start with a vision. You have to absolutely believe that you know where you're going, and you know it beyond any shadow of a doubt. You believe. And without this step, nothing will work for you. This is, for many people, the first and the most crucial step that you're missing. A firm, ironclad, unequivocal, irrevocable, irresistible, irrefutable belief in your future, in where you're going, in your destination. If you don't start there, you won't get there. So we got to build that belief. It's often been said that the pain pushes you until your vision pulls you, and without a powerful vision to pull you through the tough times, you will throw up your hands in frustration and quit. You need to craft a compelling vision that will be powerful and pull you through the tough times. You know, there are days when I get up out of bed and I say, I don't feel like it. We all have those days. Every one of us. Even Ray Higdon has them. He admits it. We all have them. I bet Doug Fireball has them too. We all have them. So how do the people that are successful keep going? They focus on the result. They focus on their vision. They focus on their belief that what they're doing is going to get them where they want to go. They focus on the process. They don't worry about the missteps and the stumbles. The scraped knees don't matter. They get up when they scrape their knee, they dust it off. In the old days, we put on some mercurochrome. Today, I don't know, maybe we put on some essential oils, but whatever we put on, we get up, we dust it off, we put something on, and we keep going. So your vision is bigger than your why. It's not your why. The vision is not why you want to do something. It's your legacy. It's what you want to leave to your family. It's the impact you want to have on the planet. And it's what you want the world to remember you as when they sit down and write your obituary. Do you want your obituary to say, sat on the couch, drank beer, watched television every night from 7 to 9? Or do you want your obituary to say, contributed to the planet, helped people, saved lives? And for many of you who know me, you know some of my pet peeves. So the next few words will be some of my pet peeves. Helped the gorillas, helped the elephants, helped save wolves, helped keep wolves alive in Yellowstone, helped feed hungry children, helped bring water to tribes that had to walk 5 miles each way each day with a 5-gallon bucket to bring home dirty drinking water that gave them dysentery and killed them anyhow. So what is the impact you want to have on the planet? What do you want to be remembered as? And that will help you create your vision. And then you say, well, gee, that's awesome. I'd love to help those starving children in Africa, but I really don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There are a million ways to do it. You just got to believe that you can do it, whatever your vision is. But your vision's got to be aligned with your core values and your major life purpose. Why are you here and what's important to you? And if we can sync up everything, then we jump out of bed and we hum along like a finely tuned Swiss watch. We jump out of bed with enthusiasm because we know who we are, where we're going, and our daily actions are aligned with our core values, our strengths, our visions. You have this ability. It is inside you. So how would it feel if you know who you are and what you want out of life? If you could take off the gloves and go with it, go for gusto. If you didn't procrastinate. You didn't feel any overwhelm because you were in action. You didn't hesitate to jump in with both feet. You were positive. You believed in possibility. You know what you can do, and you believe in you. You believe. You know that you can go where you want to go. Now here's how to find your core values. This is a simple core values exercise. We go in much more detail in the vision workshop, but take a list of core values. Here's a list. Take a list of core values and peruse the list and write down the 10 that come to you as the most important ones. Now listen to me carefully. Shh, listen. Close your eyes for just a moment. Do not overthink this. Do not overthink this. Just pick 10 that's come across to you as the really important thing. So I see character values, I go with honest right away. Because to me, honesty is extraordinarily important. It's very high in my set of priorities. You know, I look at civic and culture, law-abiding, and not so important. I mean, yeah, I follow the laws, but that's not a high priority for me. I would certainly break the law. I certainly have broken the law. We'll talk about that. Okay, fine. Let's leave that alone. Let's move on. So, you know, I'm caring. I like to think that I'm caring. Rational values. So find your 10 things. You don't have to do this right now, but this is how we do a core values exercise. It's the beginning of it. And what we have in the vision workshop is a much more comprehensive core values exercise. But once you have your 10 things, then what you're going to do is you're going to prioritize them. So you're going to pick 2 core values, 2 things that you picked off the list. So for example, I picked honest. Let's say I picked honest and patient out of character values. So then I'm going to ask myself, if I could only live with one, I had to give one up. There was only one. Which one would I give up? Well, I'd give up patient, because to me, honest is more important than patient. Okay, fine. So I'd write down honest as a higher priority than patient. So I prioritize my list, and pretty soon I'd have a list of core values that are important to me. And once I have that list, I want to be sure that I'm living my life along those lines. So for example, honesty. Honesty is very important to me, and I can go back into my life and I can tell you that there were times in my prior life that I wasn't completely honest. Well, I could even make a stronger statement than that, but we won't. I'm not going to go to confession here, dear Father. It's been a lot of years since I went to confession, and no, forget it. But that's not who I am today. Today, if I even think of doing something that is remotely close to dishonest, I catch myself and I say, nope, we're not going to go there. We're not going to do that. So I live my life with that core value. People follow people who know who they are and what they stand for and are going somewhere. This isn't about making money. It's about leadership. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If we ask you what your why is for what you want to do with your life, where you're going, and what your why is, and you say, well, I want to make money, flag on the play. That's not what you're about. That's not what you want. And if it really is what you want, then your chances of winning are damn poor. And you can say, well, there's a lot of people out there making money. Yeah, but most of them aren't making money because that's what they want to do. Most of them, I mean, you take a guy like one of my heroes these days, you know, besides Wayne Dyer and Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins isn't in business to make money. He's in business to help people. The more people he helps, the more money he makes. It's just what Zig Ziglar said, but his top priority isn't to make money. Richard Branson, $5 billion, 200, 300 companies, but he's not there to make money. He's got a different set of motives for what drives him. And see, that's the thing. You got to go look at the core values, and you got to go look at that vision, and you got to really come up with what is it that drives you, what's important to you. And if you live your life according to your vision and your core values, the prosperity is going to follow. It will follow. But that's not the top priority. So what is it that excites you so much that you'll leap out of bed at the crack of dawn with enthusiasm, optimism, and energy? What do you love to do? What would you get up and do every day, even if you weren't getting paid for it? If the answer is drink beer and water ski, then you maybe want to rethink that. But no, because I jokingly say that once in a while, but that's not what I'm about. That's the reward for doing what I'm about. I get to go to the river and water ski once in a while. But the reality is that you can uncover, and this is again there's a very powerful exercise in life purpose, and you can uncover your life purpose by looking at what it is that excites you, that makes you get out of bed with enthusiasm, and makes you feel good about your day. So now what? Once you've determined and written down your life purpose, read it every day, preferably in the morning. Make certain your goals and vision are aligned with and serve your life's major purpose, and refine your life's purpose as you mature and develop yourself. Your life's purpose, the one you write down today, may not be the one you write down tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. It can evolve, it can mature, it can become different. But you got to start somewhere. So, did I just take you through a life purpose exercise? Actually, I did, a very simple one. What excites you? What will get you out of bed in the morning with your heart pumping with enthusiasm and make you feel like you're contributing to the world? What is it? Go for it. And then you can say, well, that's easy for you to say. I have to go to work and pay the bills. I know. But we can work on that. Okay, so this is actually, I went through a detailed life purpose exercise last year. This is what I came up with, to use my intelligence and flexibility. And I do think that I'm pretty smart and flexible, to understand individuals and inspire peace and harmony and acceptance among people. Now, so when I ask you what your life's purpose is, you might say, well, I mean, I don't want to get into specifics of businesses, but many people will answer with, well, I'm an insurance salesman. No, I'm a used car dealer. No, that's not your life purpose. If you go back to Jack Canfield, he has a very esoteric life purpose. But he's also an author and a lecturer and a teacher and a this and a that and a coach and the other, but those aren't his life purpose. Those are the mechanisms that he employs in order to achieve his life purpose. So the life purpose is a more esoteric thing than what am I today? What role am I playing? What suit do I have on? And now let's talk about the final major topic we need to talk about here, and that's outwitting the devil. Napoleon Hill, who wrote the famous book Think and Grow Rich, also wrote a second book called Outwitting the Devil. And his family forced him to put the book in a drawer in his bedroom and hide it away. They were afraid of the reaction of the world to the book because it's very controversial. And here's the deal. In Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil, which I highly recommend, if you haven't read it, it's a really good book. He envisions a conversation with the devil. He sits down with the devil and he asks the devil questions. Now, it's up to you whether you want to accept Hill's devil as a real human, a real being. Like when I was in grade school, I was taught that the devil was this, we had this figure of this guy with, a red suit and a pitchfork and a tail and, blazing around through the fires of hell. And if you want to believe in that sort of a creature in existence, fine, go ahead. I don't. But the universe has good and bad, up and down, left and right. There is always the other side of everything, left unattended. The natural state of affairs of the universe is to move toward chaos and disorder. That is the absolute natural state of the universe. That's the way it is. Don't ask me why. I don't know. And we can't even ask quantum physics why. They don't know either. That's the way it is. When we look down deeper and deeper into the universe, or we look out at the cosmos, what we see is fundamentally chaos and disorder. Well, you don't see all the planets marching along in a little straight line. They're sort of out there flying around. The natural state of the universe is to move toward chaos and disorder, and you have to weed the garden. The weeds will take over if you don't. And science has long understood this concept. It's long been understood that in thermodynamics, the universe drifts toward maximum entropy, and if that's a big word that you don't understand, fine, you don't have to. A perfect example is herding kittens. Maximum entropy is herding kittens. It's exactly the same thing. Try to herd a litter of kittens and see what you get. That's maximum entropy. So what the heck does it mean? It means maximum disorder. It means that no matter what you do, the weeds are going to try to grow. And so unfortunately, for many of us, fear is huge. We go to bed at night fearful. Fear of poverty, fear of old age, ill health, death, the bill collector. And as long as fear is our dominant thought, that's what we're going to get more of. Fear stops us more than any other emotion. When we're afraid, we drift in and out of purpose or action. We procrastinate. We are afraid, so we do nothing. We shut down. We turn on the television. So we got to get rid of it. We were programmed into negative thinking. We weren't born that way. You were born as a bundle of pure energy. You didn't have any fear when you popped out of the womb. You were cheerful and happy. But over the years, your upbringing, by the time you reach the age of 18, you've heard the word no 200,000 times, seen 30,000 acts of violence, maybe more these days. You've received more than 12 million messages in the form of advertising telling you how to look, what to eat, how to feel. We got to install new software. We've got to override that programming. We got to update the program. We got to erase the negativity, replace it with positive thinking, and what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose. And what is definiteness of purpose? It is having that vision and knowing that you're going to move toward it. So you've got to feed your mind. If you feed it subconscious thoughts, if you feed your subconscious thoughts of fear, scarcity, negativity, chaos, and failure, that's what it's going to work on manifesting for you. If you go to bed at night worried about paying the bills, you're going to get more bills to worry about paying. Did you hear me? If you go to bed at night worried about paying the bills, you're going to get more bills to worry about paying. That's what you're manifesting. But if you feed it thoughts of abundance, health, wealth, and happiness, that's what it'll work on for you. Now look, I can hear it now. There's people out there saying, you don't understand, Len. Let me show you my pile of bills. Let me show you how bad it is for me. That's okay. If you want to argue for your limitations, keep up. Keep right on up. That's what you're going to get more of. If you want to argue for your limitations, that's what you're going to get more of. Make yourself a mind movie. Go out to mind movies. Make yourself a mind movie. Make a movie about what you want your life to be like and watch it morning, noon, and night until you get the negativity programmed out of your mind. Every time you think about the bill to pay, go look at the water faucet, turn on the water, and thank God for running water. Go flush the toilet and thank God you have a toilet. Look at the roof on your house and thank God you have a roof. Look at the food in your refrigerator and be thankful you have food. Find things to be thankful for, to be grateful for, and push the negativity out. Make a vision board. One of the most powerful ways is to create a vision board for yourself, a vision of what you want your life to be like. Hang it up on your wall where you can see it every day and look at it. And here's a nice example of a vision board. So anyhow, in each area of your life, your home, your family, travel, your blog, your career, your love, your health, whatever you want, a vision of what you want your life to be like and move toward it every day. And as you begin to exercise that muscle, as you begin to move toward it, your brain will begin to turn around. Now look, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm going to tell you this. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Right.
You've been programmed for the last, how many years old are you? minus a few months, you've been programmed into negativity. So it doesn't all disappear overnight. It takes time to turn this massive train that's going the wrong direction around. It takes time and effort and energy and persistence to reprogram, but you can do it. So, have you gotten value so far? Making the law of attraction work for you. Here's how you do it. Here's the critical steps. You got to create a vision. You got to know where you're going to go. You got to elucidate your core values. You got to be sure that you're living your life in harmony with your core values. You got to identify your major purpose in life and make sure that you're moving toward it. You have to craft your mission statement, and you got to weed your garden daily, the garden of your mind. If you don't weed it daily, pull out the weeds and put in the good, pull out the bad, put in the good. If you don't do that daily, not weekly, not monthly, daily, you won't be able to reprogram. It is a tough program to get all this negativity out and to move forward. And many of you have made much progress, and I don't know where each of you is at. Only you can look in the mirror and you can assess that. But that's it. If you're not interested in the product that I have available, you can hang up now. And if you are interested, here we go. Introducing the Ultimate Vision Workshop. And a number of you that are on here today, at least when I saw the registration list, actually have this workshop. So some of you don't. I haven't ever had anybody tell me anything bad about it. It's always been really good stuff. So the Ultimate Vision Workshop, how to unleash the awesome power of your subconscious mind. And I'm aware that it's almost 9:30, so we're going to wrap up really quick here. We are spiritual beings who have chosen to manifest into the physical universe. And as such, we are connected to infinite intelligence. And we have the power through the use of our subconscious mind to create our future, our destiny, our abundance. In this workshop, we're going to learn how to harness this power. And we're going to learn to craft your vision for success. It's often been said that the pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. Without a powerful vision to pull you through the tough times, you will throw up your hands in frustration and quit. We're going to craft a compelling vision that will be powerful and pull you through the tough times. We're not going to talk about the vision. We're going to create the vision, you and I together, in one of the modules. So module 1 is focused on the power of thought. Module 2 is defining your core values. It's an in-depth core values exercise. Module 3 is discovering your life's major purpose. What is my mission statement in life? And module 4 is crafting that compelling vision. Now, the reason crafting the compelling vision comes last is that if we don't believe in our power of thought, if we don't understand our core values, if we haven't discovered our life's major purpose, then our vision isn't going to be congruent. We want our vision congruent with those things. And then we have to build the belief that we can do this. I can do this. Building belief, because without that, we won't get there. So again, a little more detail, module 1, understanding how thought tends to materialize into its physical equivalent, capturing the essence of pure thought, how to harness its energy, discover how the great leaders have understood this for centuries and why the masses have not, understand why the secret was a secret for thousands of years. Module 2, discovering your core values. We're going to go through an in-depth core values exercise and help you to identify your core values and to prioritize them. Module 3, discovering your life major purpose. Why are you here? What are you supposed to contribute to the planet? And again, this is much more esoteric than I'm an insurance salesman, I'm a car broker, I'm a housewife, I'm a mom, I'm a husband, I'm a welder, whatever. No, those are the things you do with your life. Those aren't your life purpose. So we're going to really look at what is your life purpose, and we'll conduct a very powerful life purpose exercise. Just might change the course you're on. You might decide that you're not really living your life the way you want to, and that might not come as a big surprise for those of you who are getting up miserable every Monday morning, but it may give you some more fuel on the fire to begin to make some changes in your life and to begin to gradually move yourself in a better direction. And finally, well, not finally, but finally we're gonna craft a vision. Now that we know our core values and have our life purpose, we can craft a compelling vision, jump out of bed every morning with enthusiasm because we know our life's purpose. We know our core values and our vision is aligned and congruent, and we're moving toward it. And finally, module 5, the most important module, but it's also the last module because until we have the first 4, we can't do number 5. Once we have our goals, we got to build the belief. Can I do this? Yes, you can. We have to develop a rock solid belief that you are worthy and you can accomplish anything you want, anything you set your mind to. Learn to overcome procrastination, devour overwhelm for breakfast, and become unstoppable because you finally know who you are and where you're going. And you believe, you have a knowing that you can achieve it. How cool is that? So, all right, Lenny, how much is this whole damn thing going to cost? I can't afford this today. Here's what you're going to get. Arbitrary numbers, power of thought, finding your core values, discover your life's major purpose, craft a compelling vision, belief, the key to success. I arbitrarily put a number of $27 on each module. It might have been less, might have been more. I don't know. It's an arbitrary number. Here's where you go, lenmooney.com vision. But wait, there's more. You're going to get a personal vision worksheet to help you craft that vision, a core values worksheet to help you with the core values, a copy of my ebook, 11 Secrets to Success. So here's what you're going to get. Oh, by the way, yeah, there's an absolute money back guarantee. So, if this workshop doesn't deliver what I promise, if it doesn't help you craft your vision for life and move forward, ask for a refund. No questions asked. Well, maybe some questions asked, but realistically, I don't want you to have it if it doesn't work for you and it doesn't help you. So the total value, real world value I'm putting on the course is $200. And I think that's a realistic real world value, but that's not what you're going to pay today. Today you get the normal price of the course is $97. Today you get $49. You go to lenmooney.com vision and you get the course for $49. And for the first 5 people that register for the course, you get another half-hour coaching session with me. We can work on your vision, your core values, anything else you want. I value that at $100. I think it's worth more than that. But hey, I don't want to put out outlandish numbers, so I want to stay credible. So once again, lenmooney.com vision. Here's what you get today. You get the 5 modules, the power of thought, defining your core values, discovering your life's major purpose, crafting a compelling vision, your module on belief, which to me, the belief module is a very powerful module. Your personal vision worksheet, your core values worksheet, the ebook, and half-hour coaching, and it's all for the total price of $49. And the website is lenmooney.com vision. lenmooney.com vision. Here's a final testimonial from Karen Anderson. We did this workshop live, by the way. The very first time I did it, the core values workshop, I did it live. This is a recorded version, but it's a much longer, much more material version than the live version I did. And I think you're probably reading this faster than I can read it, so we'll let you read it. She was sitting around with a long list of Saturday chores to do, and she didn't want to sit on another webinar, and I don't blame her. But she decided the list of things I was going to cover reeled her in, and she was glad she did. You've given me much to think about, and now a way to do it better. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Karen. I have many more testimonies, but I just want to put up a couple for you. It's a very powerful, very good, very well done. Well, if I do say so myself. So grab it while you can. Price goes back up to $97 after the day. The free coaching goes away. And there again is the website, lenmooneyinternational.com vision. Was there an incorrect website previously? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Len Mooney. Okay, it's Len Mooney. This is the correct website, lenmooneyinternational.com. If you go to lenmooney.com, it won't take you there. Oops, my bad. I had to change website addresses. lenmooneyinternational.com vision. So once again, sorry, lenmooneyinternational.com vision. And there you are. So I'm going to go off screen share, end the show, come off the screen share, stop the share, and get some more people. Hello, Chris. Welcome, Junie. Yeah, Junie, you came on 10 minutes early and then dropped off. I wonder what happened to you. Hello, Mike. Welcome, Mike. Let's see, who else is there? Marta, good morning. And Laura and me. Okay. And it looks like a couple people dropped off. That's all right. And by the way, if anybody, hi, Mike, by the way, if anybody wants to know what this is, so do I. But I did go see a doctor, and we think it's just an insect bite that got infected, and I'm taking antibiotics for it, and I know it looks ugly. And so I was thinking maybe I could just put a patch up over it today. What do you think? All right, does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? LenMooneyInternational.com vision. And if there's no questions, I'm going to thank you all for being here today.
Marta had a question. She wanted to know if the slides were going to be available later.
Well, from today, this webinar is recorded. So yes, there's a replay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a replay available. I will send out a replay. Yeah, I understand that, Marta. Actually, you're lucky. Your retirement and security checks equal one of your former paychecks. I understand that. That's you should be grateful for that. Believe me, I'm not even close. All right, very good. So if nobody else has anything, I am actually going to do a redirect, and I'm going to send you out to the website for you to look at the page for the course. If anybody buys it, doesn't like what you get, let me know. We'll take care of it for you. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And well, we'll see you next week. We'll see you. When's the next webinar? Tuesday, Lunch with Len, I guess. No, Tuesday, Bob Miller Gratitude Success Tuesday morning. And then Lunch with Len Tuesday. So we'll see you then. Bye for now. Thank you, Laura, for being over here.
Hey, you're welcome. Great job, Len.
Thank you. Bye for now, everybody. And here goes the redirect. Okay. I think everybody got redirected. I don't know.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
Yeah, well, I pushed OK. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's disappearing. They went there. All righty. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk again.